Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to my dearest lecturer, Madam Nur Faiza and friends. Today I would like to present some information about to penetrate the authentic Malaysian food to the Mexico market. Without further delay, let us all learn the lesson together. Let's begin. Mexico. Mexico is located in the southern North America, covering a large part of the southern region of the continent. It shares border with the United States, which is US, to the north, and with Guatemala and Belize to the south. Mexico also has coastlines on both the Pacific Oceans to the west and the Gulf of the Mexico to the east. The capital city is the Mexico City. Is one of the most populated cities globally, with an estimated population of 130 million people in 2024. Known for its rich culture, history, and tradition, Mexico is a multicultural hub with a significant foreign community, especially in its major cities and coastal areas. Further overview of Mexico. Mexico ranked as the second largest economy in Latin America, only after the Brazil. It boasts a highly diversified economy with strong sector in manufacturing, oil and gas, agriculture and technology. Furthermore, due to its strategic location near to the US, United States, Mexico plays a key role in global trade, serving as a hub for exporting goods across North America and beyond. Furthermore, Mexico manufacturing power. The Mexico manufacturing sector is one of the largest globally, with a strong focus on automotive, electronics, and tourism industries. As members of significant trade agreement like the USMCA with the US, Canada, and Mexico has gained a competitive edge in this sector. Moreover, it is the seventh large car manufacturer in the world and the leading exporter of flat TVs and refrigerators. Additionally, Mexico is part of the agreement with over 50 countries, which enhance its access to global markets. Mexico's relatively low labor costs, proximity to the US, and improving business environment make it an attractive destination for foreign direct investment (FDI), particularly in manufacturing and energy sectors. So, we move to the importance of effective communication and negotiation. The first one, Mexico, like many Latin American countries, follow a high cultural context communication style. This means that much of the communication is implicit and relies on non-verbal cues, body language, tone of voice, and the context of the conversation. The second one, in Mexican, cultural, personal relationship and trust are crucial. Business transactions are often proceed by established personal rapport. Verbal communication may often include exaggeration or compliment, which are naturally acceptable ways of building rapport. Direct confrontation or saying no outright can be seen as implicit or disrespectful. Mexican negotiators may use indirect communication to express disagreement, such as deferring a decision or using diplomatic language. So, the introduction, negotiating a business deal in a foreign country might seem intimidating. Cultural differences, language barriers, and dealing with time zones. However, if you look at all the advantage a region like Latin America can bring to you and your business, a growing economy in most countries, ease of doing business, and significant economic benefits, the rewards outweigh any of these challenges. So, the reason why we are choosing the Mexico, because the Malaysian and the Mexico have the same taste and ingredient for making main dishes such as onions, garlic, chili powder, like sambals, spices, and a few that are specific to this style of food. And the Mexico boasts a skilled labor force at a compelling low cost. These teams are from Mexico dedication to cultivating a highly trained workforce through industry, academia, in the partnerships. While The cost of labor is rising rapidly in other countries. The cost of labor in Mexico remains relatively stable. Mexico City is the largest and the capital city of the Mexico. It's right at the center of North American trade. With over 21 million people, it's one of the biggest consumer markets in the world. This makes it a perfect place for business looking to reach a large audience. The city has also seen a lot of investment in its infrastructure, such as better transport, communication, and energy systems. This improvement make it easier for business to operate efficiently and access the market without much hassle. So, the reason why we choose the restaurants Chef Wan as to penetrate to the Mexican market, because among the famous Malaysian chefs known by Mexican people is the Chef Wan. His real name is Dato Rizwan bin Ismail. He is also become a well-known as celebrity chef, television presenter, and also an owner of the restaurant. Chef Wan has played an important role in the globalization of Malaysian food and has featured in numerous cooking programs such as No Reservation with Anthony Bourdain that introduced him in the American market. So, and Chef Wan also has a menu, a dish that is inspired by Mexico style and taste, such as the nasi tomato and tamales. This diversity can attract Mexican culinary diners looking for the culinary perspective and experience. So, we choose nasi goreng to penetrate the Mexican market because it aligns with the Mexican flavor preference, culinary habits, and growing interest in global cuisines. It's the versatility, familiarity with rice, and potential to blend with the local ingredient make it an ideal to introduce in Mexico.
So next, we move to the marketing roles. The first one is understanding the Latin American market and economy landscape and key industry. Mexico economy is vibrant and diverse, with a rich tapestry of industry that contribute its position as one of Latin America's largest. The first one is automotive industry, that Mexico has become a major hub for automotive industry manufacturing in recent years. Mexico is one of the world's top automotive producers, ranking 6 in automobile manufacturing and 8 in car export. The automobile sector provides about 3.5% of national GDP and 20% of the manufacturing GDP. And the next one is medical device manufacturing in Mexico has seen a significant increase in recent years due to the proximity to the United States and its low labor and production costs. Mexico is the 4th largest producer of medical equipment internationally, with a production value at more than 6 billion. Mexico is also home to several specialized research and development centers which are helping to drive innovation in industry. This has helped make the country an attractive destination for many companies looking to move their production to Mexico. Next is to understanding the Latin market in cultural diversity and regional differences. Mexico is a country with a great cultural diversity, shaped by its complex history, geography, and fusion of indigenous and Spanish influences. This diversity is evident in many elements of life, including language, food, traditions, and social standards, which range greatly across the country. So, the first one is regional cultural differences. In geography and demography is a variation in Mexico. Topography include deserts, mountains, and tropical coast, creating unique regional identities. Approximately 81.6% of the population lives in metropolitan area, but rural villages maintain traditional lifestyles and strong local identities, sometimes known as matras chicas, little homeless. Secondly, Mexico cultural diversity is matched by large regional economic inequality. Northern states such as Nuevo León and Jalisco tend to have a better level of economic development and human development index. Scores that certain states such as Oaxaca and Chiapas, which have higher level of poverty and fewer economic prospects. This economic disparity has an impact on cultural aspiration and resource availability, exacerbating regional disparity. Next is to understanding the Latin American market in major opportunities and common challenges businesses face in the market. Mexico is one of the Latin America's most active and promising marketplaces, attracting both domestic and foreign enterprises looking to grow and expand. With its excellent geographical position, rich cultural heritage, and a varied economy, So the first one is competitive labor cost. That the country has a skilled workforce with a competitive pay, especially in the manufacturing and technology sector. This enables businesses to minimize operationally costs while maintaining equality. Next is taxes that you must fill out monthly and annual tax returns. This can be one of the problems of doing business in Mexico, not only because the process requires a significant amount of time, but also because accessing the tax authorities' internet platform can be difficult. Similarly, if you have employees, you must pay social security and payroll taxes on a monthly basis.
Assalamualaikum. I will be your next presenter. We won't waste our time, just let's continue to the point. For the first one is the communication. Why I such the communication? Because we want to enter into another market. Our country is not the same as other country. So basically the language are definitely going to be so different. That's why it's important to do this analysis. We can get know better from the other country. And communication in Mexico for Mexican business people are usually use English language because they have their own level. For upper level, they will use English language because they think English language suits with them. Shows that they have like a priority. They have the level of upper because there are studies in a university and have a degree in a university. However, for the low level, they will talk in Spanish language. So if you work in the office and suddenly you are going to outside from the office, you will hardly to find someone that can get to know to talk in English. That is why it is important for someone to do a research before you go to that country. So for the moral, you need to learn Spanish language before you come into Mexico. So that easy for you to talk to them either to upper level or even in lower level because everyone knows Spanish language in Mexico. That's about the communication style in Mexico. So there are more to emotion and also expressive. For Mexican, they usually love to interrupt each other and also speak at the same time. Also, there is a common if there are some Mexican people are touch each other's wrists and also per arm wave. Let's move to the next one. Mexico is a high context. Since Mexico is under Latin America and Latin America is under a high context culture, so definitely Mexico will be a high context culture. According to the hashtag cultural dimensions, research just shows that Mexicans high contact because they have a uncertainty avoidance, which is depend on non-verbal communication, with emphasis on the factor, relationship with other peoples, and also other factors of complex. Mexican culture high context because the information is derived that's in which communication happens such as kinship. Another fact from various community, they will always use language from Maya and Nahuatl. It's just represent about a hierarchy. So the culture from there, it's just refers the communication that takes place at the local level. Moreover, Mexican always use indirect communication. It's just like they directly to say no to avoid to offend someone. So that's why it's important to someone to recognize their body language and also their voice of tones, so that it can give a clues for someone to get to know that how is the feeling from that person. Let's relate the communication with the technology. For the past 4 years ago, Mexico is ranked in the top 5 countries that has the biggest e-commerce growth in the world. According to the Mexican Internet Association, it shows that by the end of 2022, it had around 96.8 million of users internet. But even in a digital communication, the steady contact remains important. Message may still depends on their cultural differences and shared experiences. That's the end of the communication point of cultural analysis. Let's move to the next one, which is we call it as a cultural sensitivity and also etiquette. This part is about the culture, sensitivity, and also etiquette for the best. Okay, so Mexico is a massive country that have a span over 700,000 of kilometers. It also was a massive of 126 million individuals. So these two things don't assure the Mexican culture is extremely diversified. So Mexican culture can be different by their religion. So different sections of Mexico have their own different diverse, such as their religion, their culture, their traditions, including gastronomy. This is why we call Mexico is so significant. Next point is just like if you guys want to know a fact about Mexico, it's just that Mexico culture is no focus on their family members, their friends, also the other community, deeply ingrained into their day-to-day life. The importance if you place the strong relationship is just that you can get strong sense of loyalty among the members, transit with social status or even wealth. This is why Mexico think that emphasize the family and also the community have the impact on their social interaction and also on their business activity. Second one is just about a cultural norms and the value. You guys want to know, Mexican people place a high value in their family life and also their individual's value. For instance, elders are becoming the head of the household. Family members are expected to support and also care for each other. Family is just a central part of Mexican's life. That's why it can help to expand your business. When you understanding the culture of family in the Mexican's life, it's just you can know that family can provide an insight, business practice and the decision. At that point, explain about the importance of also the impact of the family in your life as a Mexican people.
For another point, it's just explain about the importance of like Mexicans belief and also the traditions that impose the limitations the Roman Catholic in Mexico and this can codify the state tradition into religious method. So for instance, the major life event is just like a baptize, weddings, and also day of someone die. It's quite related to the religious. Another fact is just Mexican are combined the Catholic with something that indigenous result is in the spiritual landscape. That's for that point. To relate with the traditions and also the religions, it's explained about how the Mexican believe and also expert with the religions and also the traditions. For the third part, I will talk about the business, ethic, and also protocol. For the first point, like the first paragraph. So it is talk about the business attire for Mexican people. Usually are looks more formal and looking like a professional attire for their business. So they are particularly will attend the traditional events or also formal event by wearing some business attire looks so formal. Mexican are dressing appropriate, so elegant, associated with the competence and also expertise. Mexican believe if you are wearing some professional attire, it helps to enhance our credibility of our confidence, can create the impression of serious occasion. For Mexican, if wearing that kind of attire, like formal attire, which is further so important trait in the Mexican as a business culture, if we follow that, yes, we can show that we are respect for their culture. They can trust on us if we want to penetrate something like restaurant or some shops to their country, they can believe on us because we are follow their culture too. Moreover, we can build a strong relationship with them. So move to the next paragraph for the next point. It's just talk about the flexibility timing, just like another Latin American culture. It shows that like you take more flexible to timelines. So in a Mexican society, they Mexican are just accept if you are arrive 5 or 10 minutes late for some social gathering and also for some ghost appointment. And also for the same is true in a Mexican business world. So mostly the meeting often start like a few minutes late because of maybe they are having a traffic, some other unexpected factors that may come on that day. Even in business, Mexican are doing that for their life. It's just they are accept if they are late for meetings or even some gatherings other, but it doesn't mean that you as a not Mexican people are going to do the same thing. So you should come in earlier or exactly the time of your own schedule. This can show that we are really respect our time. It can help to build a relationship with them. Now let's move to the list of do and don't do in a business that we want to attend in our. So now we are going to move to the next point, which is known as the list of do's and don'ts in a business interactions in Mexico. So first we are going to look at the list of do's. First is we need to learn Mexican culture that includes like foods, like their favorite sports, their culture sports, their everything that includes with the cultures. We need to know because why? Because we want to penetrate something from our countries to their countries. So we cannot attempt randomly. We need to know everything from the country so that when we open our new stores, we can gain their attention to come to our shops or even restaurant. Next is become comfortable with face-to-face meetings to understand that culture. So for the third list in a do's is that we should save or keep the numbers of local contact as many as we can because it can help to for us to maybe negotiate something, a process or something in their country or maybe in resolve any cases that needs their helps. We also be as a tourist in there, we need to attend early in every meeting, like attend maybe 5 minutes early than the meeting schedule so that we can get ready, we can prepare everything without any problem happening. And the last list we need to say we need to overdress you have dogs. That is the points from the do's. So the don'ts list. So for the first list in the do's is that we need to avoid asking any curious about our own country and also culture because what many Mexican people will like trying to understand more about the people they want to work with. And the second one is like insist on using conference or video calls because not only will like this impact your grasp of Mexican businesses culture, but it may also be deemed impolite by some owners. For it's like avoid local representation in favor of relying on counsel from your own country. For the five is take it personally if your Mexican people counterpart are late or delayed. Maybe they have some problem, right? That we don't know. That's why we need to take it personally. Just leave it on yourself. Last one for the list on don'ts do is make assumptions, which is always ask for guidance from a local contact if they are available. That's all the list from do's and don'ts in business interactions in Mexico.
So the next is negotiation strategy phases with foreign direct investment. There are 5 phases. The first one is research and planning. We should to understand Mexico market, law and investment opportunities before starting negotiation. The next is discussion. We must set clear goal and build a connection with other parties before negotiation. The third one is bargaining. Both sides present their proposal and negotiate terms like profit sharing and compliance with Mexican regulation. Next is agreement. We should review and sign formal contract that follow Mexican legal requirement and also to ensure both parties clearly understand. And the last one is implementation. Is ensure both sides follow the term and maintain communication to build strong relationship and positive connection that can facilitate future investment and collaboration. Is preparation and research needed for successful negotiation? Firstly, we must understand the objective. Before entering negotiation, we should know what we want from the negotiation, including what we want to achieve and minimum acceptable outcome. The next is leverage information. We should research the other parties to learn about their parties' needs, past year and negotiation style. It is important to understand their business and industry trends. And the last one is previous deal and partnership. Is to gain insight into their negotiation. We must look their past deal and partnership to avoid pitfall and successful tactic from before. The importance of building rapport and trust. In Mexico, building personal relationship and trust is the key to the business. Mexicans prefer working with the people they know. Engaging in small talk and showing interest in their life can help to build this trust. It's also helpful to learning about Mexican cultures, value and custom also show respect and openness to their perspective. The preference for face-to-face meeting. In Mexico, face-to-face meetings are preferred for building rapport and reading non-verbal cues. Mexicans like to do business with the people they know and trust. It is important to confirm meetings several times in advance, as this shows eagerness. If in-person meetings are not possible, phone calls are preferred over emails. Mexicans are status conscious, so meetings should be held in settings that reflect your position like first-class hotel or restaurant that maintain high-level representative outside the office. So we move to the next slide, negotiation tactic and style. There are several tactics and style. The first one is indirect communication. Mexicans use non-verbal cues like tone and body language. They prefer polite and expressive communication. Next, making good impression, which is use warmth, interest and emotion when speaking to build positive connection. In addition, build personal relationship and trust. In Mexico, small talk and personal relationship are key to the business. Trust also important aspect for the long-term collaboration to conducting business. Conflict and culture dimension. Conflict is a normal part and should be handled, not avoided. This happens because people have different views, but these differences can be solved through respectful conversation. This doesn't mean there are no conflict. It means there is a disagreement through good communication, talking and understanding each other. According to Hostic Culture Dimension, Mexico score high in power system, meaning people have strong respect for authority and prefer indirect communication. Mexico also a collectivist culture, where teamwork and relationship matter. People avoid direct confrontation and focus on keeping harmony in the group. Lastly, Mexico score high in uncertainty avoidance, meaning people prefer stability and may be careful about change. They might resist new ideas if they feel uncertain about them. So, when managing conflict in Mexico, it's helpful to, the first one is respect hierarchy and authority. Next, use indirect communication to avoid confrontation. Thus, promote dialogue and teamwork to keep relationships strong. And the last one is be clear and patient when introducing change. So, by understanding this culture value, conflict can be resolved in a way that keep the peace and maintain respect. The role of contract and legal consideration. Contract in Mexico must clearly state all terms that related to the business transaction. The legal system is mainly governed by federal law, but state law also apply. It is important to understand Mexican legal system to ensure compliance in supplier relationship. Next is legal consideration. The first one is regulatory compliance. Understanding the local law like labor and environment regulation is crucial to avoid legal issues. And the second one is dispute resolution. The general law alternative dispute resolution mechanism, starting in January 2024, encourage mediation and negotiation as effective way to dispute resolution method and reducing reliance on the court. Example of successful market entries by multinational companies. McDonald's entered the Indian market through franchising, adjusting its menu to fit local taste and dietary restriction by offering vegetarian option and excluding beef and pork. This socialization strategy, known as polycentric orientation, helped McDonald's connect with Indian consumer and expand quickly across the country. Share lesson learned from failed attempt from Walmart in Germany. Walmart entered Germany in 1197 but left in 2006 after falling to success. The lesson learned is local competition. Walmart underestimating the strength of local competition like Aldi and Lidl, which is had the strong customer loyalty. This makes it difficult for Walmart to compete effectively in the market. Example of real-life negotiation and scenario outcome. For example, in 2017, the United States government under President Donald Trump expressed dissatisfaction with the North America Free Trade Agreement (NAFTA), which had been placed in 1994. The administration felt that NAFTA no longer aligns with the current goals of the United States, Canada and Mexico and prompting a recognition. After years of negotiation on topics like labour standard, environmental protection and intellectual property, all the three countries ratified a new agreement. The United States Congress, Canada Parliament and Mexico Senate approved the deal, which led to creation of United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. And for the outcome, the USMCA introduced update provision on labour relation, environmental protection, digital trade and intellectual property, prompted a fair trade system. It went into effect in July 2020 and was seen as significant achievement for Mexico as the country managed to negotiate as beneficial deal despite facing structural disadvantages. The next is negotiation approach in Mexico is integrative. It is because their relationship orientation. Mexicans are highly relationship oriented. In business, they are focused on building long-term partnership. This is focused on relationship help them to explore options that benefit both parties, leading to win-to-win outcome. Next is because communication. Mexico often use indirect communication. Negotiation rely on open dialogue to share ideas and re-share solutions, and avoiding direct confrontation. Next is because their cultural flexibility. Mexican meetings are flexible, often discussing multiple issues at once. This flexibility encourages creativity, problem solving, and allow for finding several ways to address challenges. Next, bargaining. Bargaining in Mexico is aimed at meeting the needs of the stakeholders. Instead of just dividing value, the goal is to create value that benefit everyone involved. And the last one is avoidance of confrontation. Mexicans tend to avoid confrontation and prefer to assertive approach. This promotes teamwork and help decisions be made in ways that strengthen relationship. And the next slide is the method that is used in Mexico is polycentric orientation. The first one is because the cultural sensitivity. Mexican business culture emphasizes interpersonal relationship and trust. A polycentric approach which adapts strategies to local context help companies to build stronger connection with Mexican partners and customers. By aligning business practices with social norms, the chances of success are significantly improved. The next is local expertise. Delegated decision to local management allow companies to leverage the expertise to executives who understand the Mexican market. This leads to better strategy that resonate with local consumers, enhancing product appeal and brand preference. The third one is because flexibility in operation. The polycentric model enables companies to adapt product, promotion, and operation to suit different locations. For example, fast food chains like McDonald's adjust their menus in Mexico in incorporate local flavor, making their offering more appealing to their local market. And the last one is because competitive advantage. By adapting a polycentric orientation, companies can adapt to shift the market or change the consumer preference, helping them to maintain their competitiveness. This adaptability is especially important in dynamic market like Mexico, where customer preference can shift quickly.
In this presentation, we have explored the key factors needed to success in the Mexican market. We have discussed important aspects like the understanding the economy, communication styles, business etiquette, and the negotiation techniques. One of the most important points is to remember the need for ongoing cultural sensitivity. Mexico, like many other Latin American countries, has its own custom traditions and ways of doing the business. To succeed, we need to respect and adapt to these cultural differences, not just once, but continuously. Business relationships in Mexico are built on trust and respect. By this take time, by being aware of the cultural value and showing we understand their way of doing things, we can create strong, lasting partnerships. So, as we move forward, let's remember to keep learning about the Mexican culture and adapting our approach. This will help us build better relationships, make more informed decisions, and ultimately succeed in the market.